Hey guys, my name is Ismail. Welcome to another Blender tutorial. This time we're going to be looking at how to create a shoe in Blender 2.8, and this is a preview of what I did, what I managed to get in the so it's what we're going to try doing. So the first thing you want to do is find some reference images to work from, and this is what I got. You can just go to Google and download anything. So I wanted to begin with something simple that you can easily follow along, so don't get something that is too complicated. Find a simple shoe like this. I think this is a very good one to start with. It doesn't have a lot of detail, and you can just follow the contours. You can extrude along the contours of the shoe to get the shape you want. So what I got is an image that has that shows the top side and the side view of the shoe, so that I can easily follow the contours of both of the top and the top and the side view of that shoe. This allows me to align the topology or the edges to follow the curvature of the contours of the shoe, which makes my work much easier, and I would recommend you also do the same. So basically what I'm doing here is just extruding along those lines, and I'm not using a lot of vertices or edge loops or anything. I'm using as little polygons to define the shape as much as I'm using a very little topology to define the shape, so that in the future, if I want to make any changes, it can be easier for me. If you have a lot of topology when you're working, it's going to be very hard for you to make edits because you have a lot of vertices to deal with, and that's why I'm trying to maintain very few polygons in the mesh, and it's also a good practice to only use what is necessary, because if you're just adding polygons everywhere, you're going to end up with a dense mesh for something that is not where it's not even necessary, and this slows down your render, slows down your render times, and it also sometimes reduces your workspace, I don't know, refresh rate or something. So when I go to this side, I wanted to I just extruded one vertex to follow the that contour, and then I also did another one for the bottom contour that's around the sole of the shoes, and then I just bridged those two edge loops, and then added that middle edge loops, and that makes it easier for me to carve out what I want. And you can see I'm only using loops. I'm only adding loops where I feel they are necessary to define the shape of the shoe. I'm not just adding details where it's not necessary. And sometimes you might see areas where you need to add detail, but sometimes you don't have to add it just in the beginning. Some details can be added in later, rather than adding them as you're working. So I'm just defining the basic contours, and then after I can add in those small details. And also, if it doesn't matter if the detail you want to add in is needed, sometimes you might want to wait to add some parts, because they may make it harder for you to work on the entire mesh. So if you think that working on a certain part may kind of make it harder for you in the beginning, I'll work on something that is much easier, and then after you get the base mesh down, you can come back to that part and work on it, so that and work on it later. So here I'm just filling in those faces. So I extrude a vertex and follow the contour of the shoe, and then if it's near an edge loop I already done, I just fill that, make a face, connect those edge loops with the already created mesh using the F key to fill in that space between the edges. And again, some parts are going to be more difficult than others, so I would recommend you start with the easier parts and then work over that, and then add more details and more details on top of that. So this image, reference image, didn't have the other side image. I couldn't see the other side from that side, so I had to guess what the shape would look on the other side, and obviously this has no symmetry, so I couldn't just use a mirror modifier to mirror what I wanted this side, so I had to guess what the other side looked like. I'm guessing from this point to the next, it's just going to be the same steps that I'm doing here, extruding and maybe adding a few details there and there, extruding at an edge to follow the contour of the shoe, and then fill it in, just repeating the same steps over and over. So I won't be talking a lot here, so I'll just let you watch the rest of the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe as a way to support the channel. Thank you.